In the headlines for this hour on VTV News, promoting establishments of R&D centers in Vietnam. And AMCHAM optimistic about Vietnam investment environment. In world news, U.S. President pauses all military aid to Ukraine.
Broadcasting from Hanoi, the capital of Vietnam. VTV News starts right now.
Hello, it's 3 p.m. local time in Hanoi. You're watching VTV News. Chairing a dialogue with South Korean businesses, Prime Minister Phie thanked South Korea and its businesses for consistently supporting Vietnam throughout the development process and contributing to the advancement of the comprehensive strategic partnership. In recent years, despite challenging global conditions that have led to decreased overall international investment, South Korea investment in Vietnam has continued to grow. The Prime Minister expressed hope that Korean businesses will partner with Vietnam to achieve economic growth of 8% or more this year and further expand their investment and business activities in Vietnam, especially in high-tech and emerging technology projects. He also requested that enterprises increase their localization rate in Vietnam, support the development of Vietnam's cultural industries, actively participate in innovation centers, and establish research and development center in the country. Following the direction of the government, the Prime Minister and the State Bank on stabilizing interest rate, more banks have announced reductions in deposit interest rate to support customers in accessing capital. According to the State Bank, 10 commercial banks have announced reductions in posted interest rate at counters. 7 banks have continued to reduce online deposit interest rate. The interest rate reductions range from 0.1 to 0.4% per year, depending on the term. These lower deposit interest rate will create conditions for banks to further reduce lending interest rates. Prime Minister Phie had just directed the Ministry of Finance and the State Bank to submit a proposal for a legal framework for digital currencies this March. Vietnam currently ranks in the top 5 countries worldwide for interest in digital access, with 17 million owners. Cash flow into Vietnam from this sector exceeded $105 billion last year. However, Vietnam lacks a legal framework to manage this type of access. Currently, regulations only mention cryptocurrency in the context of prepaid bank cards or electronic wallets. Vietnam remains a significant and resilient contributor to the U.S. manufacturing supply chain. This was the consensus of the American Chamber of Commerce, AMCHAM, during a recent dialogue with the Prime Minister and the government ministries. Many of the largest U.S. enterprises share a positive outlook on investing in Vietnam due to breakthroughs in new policies.
This company ranks among the top 500 U.S. businesses and has been operating in Vietnam for over 7 years. It produces components and assembles high-performance motorcycles. The company is projected to surpass $800 million in revenue this year and is concerned about the potential impact of a 15% global minimum tax. However, they remain confident in Vietnam's investment policy.
One of those being free trade. The more and the stronger free trade, the stronger the incentive is to continue to invest. That is oftentimes one of the bigger levers in an operations decision.
During the dialogue, U.S. investors commended Vietnam's proactive approach in fulfilling its commitments, particularly its efforts to streamline government operations and restructure ministries. These measures have significantly simplified administrative procedures, fostering a more transparent, fair, and predictable business environment.
A lot of U.S. multinationals and financial investors remain very interested in consumer-related markets, financial services, education, healthcare. In terms of some of the broader, more ambitious targets, U.S. tech companies are keen on making investments in Vietnam, subject to resolution of some issues around some of the recent regulation that I mentioned before. Semiconductors is an area of potential cooperation.
As of the end of last year, U.S. direct investment in Vietnam was estimated at nearly $12 billion USD across more than 1,400 projects, ranking 11th among investing countries and territories. According to a recent AMCHAM survey, despite global trade policy fluctuations, 94 to 98% of U.S. businesses remain confident in Vietnam's potential as a vital link in the global supply chain.
Rice exports in the first month of this year have recorded a sharp decline in value, which is beyond the expectations of businesses. In January, Vietnam rice export reached about 500,000 tons, earning $308 million USD, up 1% in volume, but down 10.4% in value compared to the same period last year. Currently, rice export prices have dropped to their lowest level in the past 9 years, with 5% broken rice at $399 USD per ton and 25% broken rice at $371 USD per ton. According to factories, reduced purchasing power and increased supply are the primary reasons for the sharp decline in the rice export prices. Vietnam's rice export faced mounting challenges after a record-breaking 2023 when the country shipped approximately 9 million tons, generating $5.7 billion USD in revenue. Declining demand and falling prices are putting pressure on millions of rice farmers and hundreds of processing plants. The industry urgently needs a proactive and sustainable transformation. More to follow.
This batch of Japonica rice is set to be shipped to Japan. Thanks to its strong reputation and proactive supply chain management, the company has already secured export contracts for the entire year, despite it being only early March.
Japan's rice supply is running short, so this line of product is in high demand. We'll ramp up production in March to 4,000 tons per day.
Beyond expanding export markets, Vietnam's rice sector must shift its focus from sheer output to improving quality. When supply exceeds demand, processing plants are forced to lower prices.
India has lifted its bans on rice exports, causing enterprises to wait for price drops. Since the start of the year, prices have already declined significantly across the country.
The input material is already of high quality, so processing enterprises need to connect the production chain and material regions for maximum value chain effectiveness.
The Mekong Delta is currently in the winter-spring rice harvest season, but prices have dropped 20 to 30% compared to the same period last year. Experts suggest that in the short term, the government should introduce a credit package to help processing plants purchase and stockpile rice from farmers. In the long run, the industry must undergo a systematic transformation toward a more professional, modern, and sustainable model.
Trout fish remains a key export product of the Mekong Delta. In the early months of this year, prices have surged to a 3-year record high in some areas. However, farmers and enterprises remain cautious due to market fluctuations.
This cooperative's 3-hectare catfish farm is ready for harvest. Prices have been rising for nearly 2 months, and productivity has increased significantly.
3 to 4 months ago, trough fish prices started climbing. For fish weighing 800 grams to just over 1 kilograms, companies now pay around 1.27 USD per kilo. Larger fish of 1.5 kilogram fetch around 1.29 USD per kilogram. At these rates, farmers can earn profits of 80 to 90 cents per kilo.
Mekong Delta agricultural authorities caution farmers against expanding their farming areas, as this requires significant investment, while market conditions remain unpredictable. Rather than focusing on increasing output, farmers should prioritize cost-saving measures.
2025 will be a milestone year for the seafood industry. We're already seeing a surge in the number of orders from partners.
To mitigate risks from both market fluctuations and climate conditions, farmers are encouraged to collaborate with enterprises. Close cooperation with management agencies and adherence to technical guidelines will be crucial for the sustainable growth of Vietnam's trout fish industry.
Farmers should closely monitor disease control by observing environmental factors and heeding early warnings to prevent potential outbreaks. Meanwhile, we aim to support farmers and businesses in accessing preferential loans from policy banks.
According to industry players, trout fish farming areas in some Mekong Delta provinces have shrunk, with lower harvest volumes and increasing demand from processing and export businesses. Prices have surged over the past 2 months.
And before moving on to some of the news, let's take a look at foreign exchange rate for today, March the 4th. Coming up next on VTV News, Vietnam nominated as chair of the SBLOS conference. A non-profit project provides free English classes for Highland children. Vietnam had just been nominated by the Asia-Pacific Group for the position of chair of the 35th Conference of State Parties to the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea. The position will be officially elected just before the meeting scheduled for June 23rd to 27th at the UN headquarters in New York. If elected, this will be the first time Vietnam has assumed the chairmanship of the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea since becoming a member in 1994. This nomination demonstrates the high trust and recognition from the international community for Vietnam's pioneering effort. Taking on the role of the chair of SBLOS 35 offers Vietnam an opportunity to affirm its position as a responsible member state of the UNCLOS and make substantial contributions to the international community joint efforts in global oceans and sea governance. SBLOS is an annual conference where all member states review the implementation of the convention, exchange ideas, and discuss necessary measures to strengthen the convention implementation and improve global ocean and sea governance. On Tuesday, thousands of officers and soldiers from various military blocks and branches of the Ministry of National Defense conducted a joint training and parade preparation for the 50th anniversary of the Southern Liberation and National Reunification Day. The joint training session comprised 16 clusters, including forces from military regions, Navy, Air Force, Special Forces, and female militia of the North, and connected to 3 additional points: Military Region 7, Military Region 5, and Army Corps 34. The soldiers have now entered Phase 2 training, focusing on training in block formations and organizing training in block core and block frame. By April 6, they expect to complete the remaining components and prepare for Phase 3 training in Ho Chi Minh City, which will include joint exercises with other units nationwide. According to the plan, the parade celebrating this 50th anniversary of the National Reunification Day will take place on the morning of April 30th on Lê Duẩn Street, District 1, Ho Chi Minh City. Every year, hundreds of workers in Hậu Giang province look forward to employment opportunities abroad. Finding employment in different countries has allowed them to upgrade their skills and contribute to the locality's development. More to follow.
Instead of pursuing a career in his hometown, one young man, Lump,
boldly decided to contact the Holdjang Provincial Employment Service Center in search of job opportunities in Japan. Thanks to local support, his dream is set to become a reality in just over 2 months.
I want to learn about the culture and gain knowledge and experiences that will help me grow as an individual. After completing my work contract, I will return home and contribute to the development of my hometown.
In 2024, the Holdjang Provincial Employment Service Center processed applications and provided loan support for nearly 400 workers seeking employment in countries like Japan, South Korea, and Taiwan, China. With demand for workers doubling compared to the previous year, the center has made it easier for laborers to participate in the program.
Since the implementation of Resolution 23 in 2022, more than 99% of workers sent abroad have achieved their income and personal development goals. This year, we expect to send over 850 workers to key markets like Japan, South Korea, and Taiwan, China, while expanding into potential European markets.
With support from local authorities, workers can increase their income and develop new skills.
The free English teaching project called STEM English features a special approach using artificial intelligence to dub native English voices and create a dynamic language environment for Highland children. Since its launch last November, the project has provided free English lessons to over 1,800 first-grade students in Sapa Town, Lào Cai Province, and will continue for 5 years.
Lively and enthusiastic, no longer shy as they were during their first days in class, these Hmong ethnic students now boldly participate in activities and interact with their teachers.
Con rất thích học tiếng Anh. Bây giờ con biết đọc bằng tiếng Anh rồi ạ. Cô dạy tô vẽ và đọc chữ. Con được học hát và tiếng Anh nữa.
The lessons combine online and in-person instruction. Main teachers are located in Hanoi, Ho Chi Minh City, or Cần Thơ. They connect via the internet to 226 classrooms and over 5,000 students across 3 provinces: Lào Cai, Dien Bien, and Thanh Hóa. All first-grade students in Sapa Town will receive these lessons completely free of charge for 5 years.
We used AI to dub all the characters for the lessons. The children experience native English through the immersion method, which places them in a vibrant language environment. This approach makes language absorption much easier.
During each 35-minute lesson, a local co-teacher leads the class following a detailed script. All lessons are also digitally stored for future reference. This approach helps address the shortage of English teachers while enabling local educators to enhance their skills through modern teaching methods and current materials.
We will effectively use the provided learning materials to create classroom materials and also share them with teachers of other subjects for integration.
The project aims to equip children with foreign language skills from elementary school, creating fundamental changes for the local future workforce, especially in tourist areas like Sapa. This nonprofit initiative is expected to bring long-term benefits to disadvantaged Highland communities.
In Directive Number 5, the Prime Minister tasked Ministry with boosting tourism promotion, improving product quality, and attracting more tourists. The visa exemption policy has significantly stimulated demand in new markets. This month, Vietnam has exempted visa for tourists from Poland, the Czech Republic, and Switzerland, bringing the total to 27 countries.
This year, visiting Vietnam comes with a 45-day visa exemption for tourists from Poland, the Czech Republic, and Switzerland. Last year, Vietnam welcomed 50,000 Polish and 25,000 Czech tourists. This month, travel agencies launched several promotional programs.
We will attend the ITB fair in Germany and present products to attract visitors to Vietnam.
The policy extending the temporary stay to 45 days for international visitors, applied since mid-August 2023, has boosted European visitor growth. Vietnam recorded the best tourism recovery in Southeast Asia, surpassing Malaysia, Thailand, Singapore, Indonesia, and the Philippines. Google statistics show international searches for Vietnam increased by 30% to 45%.
We've seen a 200% increase in passengers, and charter flights to Vietnam should also be utilized.
The visa relaxation policy boosted tourism, with 17.6 million visitors welcomed in 2024. This year, 22 to 23 million visitors are projected, with revenue in the millions of USD.
We need to continue researching new potential markets and, based on that, advise the government to implement new visa policies to attract tourists to Vietnam.
Positive signals in the first 2 months offer opportunities for the tourism industry to achieve breakthrough results, supporting the country's 8% economic growth target.
Many gardens in Bảo Lộc City, Lâm Đồng Province are leveraging their natural advantages to turn orchids into a distinctive brand. High-tech orchid farming not only preserves precious white orchid varieties, but also delivers economic efficiency through smart agricultural practices. More to follow.
As the queen of flowers, orchids have attracted investment from around 200 gardens in Bảo Lộc, featuring both pure breed and hybrid wild varieties. This garden owns rare wild orchid strains like unscented dendrobium. It also boldly invests in imported varieties.
This variety blooms year-round and can be cut and transported. Once we propagate a large quantity, many people can enjoy them.
Pioneering the expansion of large-scale orchid cultivation, this grower has also invested in smart, high-tech agricultural gardens. Rare orchid varieties have been propagated to more than 300 species.
The association members have decided that each garden will focus on its strengths, choosing the most suitable varieties to develop.
The establishment of the Bảo Lộc orchid brand has connected the value chain, promoting and introducing local and newly hybridized orchid species.
We're also experimenting with QR codes for 20 gardens. Scanning the code will provide gardens address and orchid variety, providing quality assurance for customers.
The beautiful orchid requires both an artisan's dedication and cultivation technology. These blooming gardens not only meet the demands of flower enthusiasts, but also establish orchids as a distinctive brand of the South Central Highlands region.
Coming up next in World News, U.S. President pauses all military aid to Ukraine. And U.S. markets tumble as President Trump confirmed tariff on Canada and Mexico. U.S. President Donald Trump has suspended all military aid to Ukraine following his tense debate with Ukrainian President Zelensky at the White House last Friday. According to U.S. media, the country will suspend military aid to Ukraine until President Donald Trump sees that Ukrainian leaders show goodwill for peace. A U.S. government official noted that this is not a permanent suspension of aid, but only a pause. Before that, President Trump and his Ukrainian counterpart had a fierce argument in the White House Oval Office when President Zelensky visited Washington to discuss solutions to end the conflict and a rare mineral deal. The meeting ended in tension, with the two sides unable to sign an unexpected mineral agreement. U.S. stock sharply declined on Monday as President Donald Trump announced a 25% tariff on imports from Canada and Mexico, effective Tuesday. At the end of the trading session, the three major U.S. stock indexes fell significantly. The Dow Jones Index dropped nearly 1.5%, closing at 43,191 points. The S&P 500 fell 1.8%, its sharpest drop since last December. These market fluctuations are attributed to the U.S. President Donald Trump's decisions to place a new 25% tariff on most goods from Mexico and Canada. Additionally, Donald Trump signed an executive order raising the tax rate on Chinese goods from 10% to 20%. According to experts, the U.S. government announced these new tariffs amid weakening economic indicators. Recently released data on consumer spending, manufacturing and construction sectors all reveal concerning trends. The Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Country and its allies, collectively known as OPEC+, announced on Monday that they will move forward with their previously planned oil output increase starting April 1st. The decision comes after years of production cuts. 8 OPEC+ countries have agreed to proceed with a gradual and flexible return of the 2.2 million barrels per day, a voluntary adjustment starting next month. Officials attributed the decisions to a healthy market fundamentals and a positive market outlook. Previously, OPEC+ maintained a policy of cutting production by 5.85 million barrels per day since 2022, equivalent to about 5.7% of the total world supply, to support oil prices. The most recent extension was until the end of the first quarter of this year. Analysts warn that with the new decisions, the market fear that potential excess supply may drive down oil prices. The latest smartphones are being showcased at the Mobile World Congress opening on Monday in Barcelona, Spain. This year, a prominent trend is artificial intelligence AI integrated into mobile devices. From small features to groundbreaking applications, AI is transforming how we interact with smartphones.
Mobile World Congress 2025 featured the emergence of artificial intelligence, AI, on mobile devices, ranging from deepfake detection to smart virtual assistants. Honor introduced its Magic 7 Pro, which incorporates AI deepfake detection technology directly on the device.
Our deepfake detector can effectively inspect tiny details of pixels on your screen, so it can detect those deepfakes within 6 seconds.
Meanwhile, BleakUp showcased an augmented reality headset for cyclists at this year's event.
The AI detects when you're riding, cycling on your bike, the best moments from your ride. This is able to, at the end of your ride, automatically string together those best moments for a quick and easy video export.
Also on display is a digital notepad, a great solution for those who love to handwrite.
When you write, you feel the same as writing on paper. But the big difference is that you can retranscribe your notes into digital format. You can send them by email or save them both in PDF or Word format.
Nunal introduced the V1 Phone I model with a blockchain-based AI operating system capable of creating a personalized AI assistant.
Top of the screen is for AI. So it actually learning all the activity going on at the bottom of the screen. It knows what content you watch on Netflix. It knows what items you bought on the Amazon or like a Walmart. And once it knows pretty much about you, you can finally create your own AI.
From convenient features to groundbreaking applications, AI is ushering in a new era for smartphones.
Medical products that we showcase.
And now, as usual, let's continue with the weather forecast. And that's all the news for today. To rewatch our program, you can log on to VTVgo.vn or download our mobile application VTVgo. Thanks for watching and goodbye for now.